It might be good.
These old eyes can't hack it anymore.
Let me check Bikini Buddy's Twitter. You say rant, but
No.
I can't. Oh, Bikini Buddy there.
No.
Bikini Body. Isn't it about this? Got my first news regarding my video covering the future of Siege from somebody linked to working on Siege confirmed. It seems like the issues with Siege vision and leadership are deeply rooted. I mean, I literally could have told you guys this 7 years ago, right? This is pretty easy to see. The current Siege team feels like they're moving away from the vision of Siege as a tactical hero shooter, with players making meaningful decisions and focusing much more on an arcade shooter. Again, this has literally been ongoing for 6 years. What they don't realize is that they're biting the hand that feeds them. Veterans of the game are leaving, and new players who get attack shooter promoted to them and get displeased once they get in the game, as it's not the experience you get in the game at the moment. Identity crisis. Again, I've been saying this for 6 years. I mean, this is old news. Bikini just took a while to realize, because I've literally... Bikini was a big Ubi shill in the past, and now he's like pretty much anti-Ubi. But I've literally been saying this as a matter of fact for like the day I started streaming, like 6 years. It's nothing new. It's been very obviously an issue for a long time. Doesn't take a genius to see. So, I don't know. Like, there are a lot of things that I think a lot of people want. The thing is, right, everybody wants something different from Siege as a game as a whole, right? You all want something else. Some people want one-shot headshots gone, they want them to stay, faster, slower gameplay, old lean, new lean, whatever. I don't really care about what people want that's different. I think the matter of fact is that Siege is losing one of its biggest aspects, which has been like the tactical aspect of the game. The game is becoming more and more like what I call like whitewashed, in the sense that it's becoming more and more like your generic FPS game that doesn't really stand out. The only aspect that makes Siege stand out right now is basically that you have soft destruction and reinforcements. But that's not really that much of a relevant aspect of the game anymore with how the game is changing. So it becomes more and more like a run and gun game that has soft destruction. I don't know. And you know, look at a game like Tarkov. You know, they very much are like, we want to be like a sim shooter, tactical, realistic, like that's our shtick. You look at like Call of Duty and Battlefield, they're like arcade shooters, whatever, like you gotta have fun in the game. But then you get Siege as like this perfect middle ground where like it's tactical but shooter, which was Siege back, the cheating by the way, which is Siege back in like year 1, year 2, and then after year 2 and forward, it slowly just got less and less and less of that. And we've always had an identity crisis, because I think even the UI is more arcadey. The colors of the maps are more bright and colorful and arcadey, and again whitewashed, literally whitewashed colors. It used to be like dark, grim game that was very tactical, and the sound design was like very like almost like thriller vibes. Like the old sound design was incredible in my opinion. Probably one of the best sound designs I've had in a video game that is multiplayer ever. That's also gone to shit, and now it's just like this like baseless, wobbly game sound-wise. And they're working pretty hard on X-Defiant, but that game is dead on release. There is no shot that game actually makes it. It looks like a game that was made in 2016, but coming out in 2023 or 2024. It looks so outdated, and it's not even out yet. I feel like I have a pretty good read on which games are gonna make it. Like my prediction record is pretty damn sharp when I talk about what games are gonna be popular or not with multiplayer games. X-Defiant's not gonna make it. Like, it might have a player base, it might make money, it's not gonna be Valorant, it's not gonna be Siege, it's not gonna be of any relevance. I don't personally think so. I don't see how it would. It looks like a mobile Call of Duty game released on PC, which is bad.
5 seconds to insertion. Bomb location secure.
Everybody complains about the rank system, but everybody hated the old one, so we got the new one? Yes, of course. So, if you have... Oh, I think he's cheating, guys. So, if you have... How do I visualize this? If you have a box, right? And let's say this is iteration 1, and iteration 2, version 1, version 2, right? The old ranked system had this much shit in the box. So we wanted a new system. The new system that we got has this much shit in it. So saying that people complained about the old rank system and then we got a new rank system and people keep complaining, it's because we downgraded in a lot of ways. The new system has a lot more weaknesses than the old rank system does, but there's also good things, like now you can 5-stack with any elo, which is huge, right? You can play with your friends before you need to have multiple accounts. Huge. So that's better, but the old V1 system used to have this same exact feature, but then they removed it. The old V1 system had matchmaking preferences, where you can queue any map you want, and the more maps you have on, increases or decreases your queue time. Amazing system. They also removed that system. The way that ranked was when the game literally came out in beta in year 1 was probably the best rank system we've ever had. So because here, in matchmaking preferences, you could select exactly what maps you want to queue for, and it worked. If you only put on presidential plane, you would only get plane. But the queue time would be longer because you're only searching for one map. And I think this system, with a small change, is the best matchmaking system in the world. Where, let's say you have 10 maps, or like 14 maps in ranked or whatever, you can take on and off as many maps as you want with one limiting factor. So not as many as you want. You have to have at least 3 or 5 maps on. You can't just only queue one map. Because then you have people like in CSGO that only play Dust 2. It's fucking boring. They play other maps, they're shit, etc. But let's say you could have 5 maps on and have the rest off if you wanted to. That way you can only play maps that you actually care about. Depending on how many maps you have, let's say you have like 14 ranked maps, you probably would want to have 7 on. So like you have 50% enabled, or maybe even a little bit more than that. But let's say you can take X amount off, right? You're like, okay, I don't want to play Cafe, I don't want to play Canal, I don't want to play Favela. You take those 3 off, you queue the rest. Let's say you, okay, let's try and play Favela. You put that on, you take something else off, whatever. So you make it obviously based on how many maps there's in the map pool in the first place. I think that is the best system, and it's how we used to work. Like back in year 1, season 1, all the way to sometime in late year 1 or mid-early year 2, it worked like that. And we would literally get Oregon 4 times in a row, we would take off Oregon, and then never get Oregon again until we took it on. It was perfect. Everybody's happy. And there's not really, in my world, any real downside. If you're Ubisoft, you might go, oh, but no one's gonna play Favela. Well, why do you think that is? Because it's a shit fucking map. Why are you forcing people to play something that's subpar? Right? If you make a back product for your company, you can't force consumers to enjoy it and to have to deal with it against their will. You can, it's just bad for business. People are gonna be annoyed at it, they're gonna permaban it. So you might as well give people a little bit of control. Like you give them ban phase, but now you have so many bad maps in ranked that you wanna ban 3 maps, but you get 1 choice. Like Coastline's not like a map that I wanna play right now, for example, but I also don't wanna play Chalet again. So now I'm forced to ban one of them, in this case, none of them, right? And I hope that my enemy will ban the other map. And if we both ban the same map, it's still 4 random maps that it chooses between. So you have almost like you have no real control. You have like an illusion of control. Isn't it to lower queue times in higher ranks? The queue times are not gonna suffer that much. So I always use this example, right? I always use this example, and I think it's pretty accurate. So right now, I get a rank game in 0.30, so 30 seconds, right? Really fast. But the quality of the game that I get is like 40%. I get cheaters, I get shit maps, I get the same maps in a row, whatever. Not very enjoyable. That means I spent the next 30 to 45 minutes of my time enjoying the game at 40% capacity. Let's say I waited 1 minute flat, so I double, right? I increase my queue time with 100%. I double it from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. But now I get a 60% enjoyment rate for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Doubling your queue time from 30 seconds to 60 seconds to get 20% increase in enjoyability is not bad. It's not bad at all. Like, let's say you're waiting for food. Would you rather wait 30 seconds in line and get a bad burger, or wait 60 seconds in line and get a decent burger? Majority of people, unless you're in a crazy rush, same price, right? Same price. Unless you're like in a crazy rush, you would always take the 60 seconds over 30, because the time doesn't make a difference. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, you're already here. It's not a matter of 30 seconds and 5 minutes, because that would be a bad argument. But the queue times are so fast in Siege, and the quality is so bad. Like back in year 1, we would literally be in queue for 20 minutes at 2 a.m. in the morning. Because there's nobody, or like 4 a.m. Because no one's playing. Like obviously no one's playing at 4 a.m. right? So what we did, we put on every single map, even playing in house at ranked, because we knew we had to lower the queue times. But we knew. Again, people, like only a couple thousand people in the world played Siege back then, so like the queue times were fucking terrible. But we did it. We waited for the games. We'll just alt tap and talk or whatever, and like during the peak hours, you got games instantly. It's normal that queue times are longer at certain hours, of course.